Okay, we're going to go ahead. We're going to call this to order. I call to order the Community Development Recommending Board on February 2nd for me. Thank you everyone for being here. At this time, City Clerk, are we in compliance with the open meeting law?
We are in compliance.
At this time, would you please call roll?
Yes. Chair Miller.
Here.
Co-Chair Asselin. Excuse. Alternate Co-Chair Jordan.
Here.
Member Aker.
Here.
Member Robello.
Here.
Member McCoy.
Here.
Member Powell. Excuse. Member Washington.
Here.
Member Janison.
Here.
Member Jimenez.
Here.
Member McGrath.
Here.
Member Ewan. Excuse. And you do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Moving on to agenda item number 3, public comment during this portion.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Sean Bolster staff, Nathan Taylor has resigned from the board,
Okay.
so we had to wait for him to officially send his notification to the city clerk's office.
And that's been done, so thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, staff. Moving on to agenda item number 3, public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to the matters on agenda for action. If you wish to be heard, give your name for the record. The amount of discussion as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. Do we have any public comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to staff report of the Office of Community Service of Housing Urban Development HUD, federal grants and scoring of federal funds.
Good afternoon, Sean Bolster staff. So today starts, you'll be hearing presentations from the CDBG homeless applicants all day. Jen?
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Before we begin, I want to take this opportunity to alleviate some concerns that agencies have regarding the risk analysis that was completed by city staff. We would like to focus on your presentations today. However, we've been informed by city staff that agencies are given the option to address any concerns during your presentation. Please note that we will hear these concerns should you wish to address any, but we will not engage in discussion for the sake of time and allowing us to hear about your program. The risk analysis is simply a tool used by staff for internal purposes and will not negatively impact funding decisions. As a reminder, you will have 3 minutes for your presentation and 7 minutes to answer our questions. At this time, before I read into the presentations we'll be hearing, board members, is there anyone at this time, after I read the list, that needs to give an abstention or disclosure? Could you do so at that time? Today we'll be hearing presentations regarding application for community development block grant, public service, CDBG, public service homeless programs submitted by Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada, Family Promise of Las Vegas, First Person Care Clinic, Help of Southern Nevada, Emergency Resource Services, Help of Southern Nevada, Shannon West, Homeless Helpers Care Complex, Nevada Health Centers Incorporated, Salvation Army, St. Jude's Ranch for Children, and West Care of Nevada Incorporated. Does any board member at this time need to make an extension or a disclosure?
Member Janison, I will abstain from discussing Catholic Charities as I serve on their board of directors.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was in computer setup then. Applicant, I will raise my hand like this when your 3 minutes are up, and then we'll move on to questions with 7 minutes. If you still have time left and you missed something, you can go back and talk to the budget. Also, please sign in on the sign-in sheet with everyone in attendance for the city clerk's records.
And also remind you that when you do speak, to please identify yourself, your name, this is not video for the record, and voz alta, please speak loudly so we can hear you. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. I'd like to call this time Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada. Whenever you are ready, sir, we are prepared.
Thank you. My name is Tim Doyle. I'm with Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada. We are respectfully requesting $125,000 for our case management for moving the homeless in our community closer to self-sufficiency. I would like to turn this over to Albert Chavez, who is our Vice President of Social Services, and he will give you more details.
Good afternoon. For the record, my name is Albert Chavez. I'm with Catholic Charities, Vice President of Social Services. I'm actually circulating a one piece that I want to share with you. It's easier for me to show you than actually explain to you exactly what we're doing. So on one side of the sheet, it actually has the cycle of homelessness. What we've done is we've created a case management program that eliminates gaps. And so what we're doing is we've built a situation where the system or cycle that we often see on Catholic Charities campus is eliminated through a number of different tracks of case management. What we have is the hub of our campus being client services. A number of people in the corridor of hope come to client services for different services. Namely, one of them is clarity cards. So they come in, they get clarity cards, they're able to participate in the services out there in client services. From there we have our community liaison that the client can be referred to, whether it's for bus passes or hotel motel or other resources. We have other tracks of case management to include Project Hope and Client Services case manager. We have a medical case manager, a chronically homeless case manager, and homeless to home case managers. All of these case managers participate on teams, and what we do is we work with one another, providing that intensive case management. We build individual service plans with clients' goals in mind. We don't create goals for our clients. We ask for clients to create their own goals so that we can work through and participate in both the stages of change and motivational interview. And so what we'll do is, through individual service plans, we'll take a look at these cases, and we are really able to hold clients accountable for their own goals and the progress that they make. Each of our tracks is unique in terms of case management. We're really taking a look at breaking the cycle of homelessness. Oftentimes on campus, what we see is the first of the month, we see a dip in attendance on campus. And about the 15th of the month, we see an increase on campus. So why is that? A lot of times it's because clients receive dollars and they may be off campus, doing what they believe they should be doing to be moving towards self-sufficiency. And that doesn't work out, so they end up back on campus and participating in these particular services.
Was that 3 minutes? Staff? Okay, thank you. Sorry about that, it went off. I hear the bell, I go to the bell. Okay. Does any member have any questions for Catholic Social Stories? I can't even speak English today, I'm so sorry. Catholic Social Services. Member Rubella.
Director Rubella, excuse me. One of the instructions that we've been given from HUD and it's come down through the city is that we really need to focus on best practices and measurable goals. And when I was reading your application, I didn't feel like you were giving us the real measurables that would be able to track and show the success of your program and how those funds and how those can be applied to help our clients and help our citizens. So can you help me with that?
So each track and each case management team has different goals. And so the individual service plans will have goals built by the case manager and the particular client. When we take a look at programs such as Homeless to Home, some of the measurables that we're going to be taking a look at are whether or not families are able to move from homelessness into self-sufficiency. And so there's a measure right there. Project Hope has a programmatic piece where we're really taking a look at employment. So those that are unemployed, underemployed, we're really assisting with life skills, job readiness education. We're building resumes. We're assisting with interviews. We're doing all sorts of those types of, building those types of skills in terms of those life skills to help these gentlemen move into what we call independence. So employment and then independence. Those are two additional measures. What we're taking a look at with regard to our chronic team is we have gentlemen who have been on campus a year or more. And so what we're doing is we're identifying these gentlemen, and we're really taking a look at, within a team, is there a medical issue that's keeping these gentlemen in the corridor of hope? Is it a financial issue? Are some of these gentlemen able to be eligible for income? Do they have income? What exactly is keeping these gentlemen in the corridor of hope is what we're taking a look at. So we're measuring what we're starting with in terms of those gentlemen who we identify as chronic, and then what we're doing with these gentlemen in terms of launching them out into a more independent and self-sustaining role in the community.
Member McCoy?
Member McCoy, question number 14, it just asks to describe the organization's fiscal structure. And for 2015 and 16, I think that it was noted that there were some findings, and you stated that 15 was corrected, but 16, I wanted you to possibly elaborate on what the findings were, the status of that is right now, please.
Sure. Jennifer Olson, Controller, Catholic Charities of Southern Nevada. We had one finding related to our A133 audit in FY16, which related to some eligibility documents missing from an unrelated program, a volunteer file. So we have, our fiscal staff is going into the program files every month, and we are doing a 15% audit on all of those, on the population volunteer files, and we have an eligibility checklist that we are getting up. So we just completed month number 4 of that, and I can
Thank you.
If I may follow up.
Yeah. Go ahead and follow up, Ms. McCoy, and then we'll go to Member Washington. Go ahead and follow up.
I just wanted to know, you know, no collaboration process. That was her question.
So in the corridor of hope, there are many providers. And so Help of Southern Nevada is there, Salvation Army, Shade Tree, a number of different providers are in the corridor of hope, and we collaborate with them and work with them on a regular basis.
It's Tim Doyle. We are in the process of rewriting all of our MOUs, and that's over the last couple of months we've been working on that. And we didn't feel we had the MOUs that fit this particular structure at this time when we turned it in. We're rewriting all of it.
Member Washington?
Member Washington, so that answered the majority of what I was going to ask you, but as far as the MOUs are going, and you said that you work with folks that you've been working with some of these, are there any new organizations that you guys are doing? It's a large organization. Are there new ones that you're collaborating with that may be able to help bring along your services and maybe theirs as well?
We're absolutely exploring additional partners and partnerships. We are in the process of right now hiring a community liaison, and that community liaison's focus is actually going to be out there in the field, developing partnerships, especially with regard to the hospitals and some of those entities. So we're absolutely exploring additional partnerships. If that answers your question.
Member Rivera?
Senator Rivera, you kept mentioning gentlemen. Do you have any women in your program, or is it a male-only program?
So the campus during the day is open to women and families and men. In the corridor of hope, we're actually the hub. I would say it would be client services. We have a number of women coming to our campus to pick up clarity cards or clothing. We have a free meal at 10 a.m. every day. So we have a number of people within the corridor of hope, whether they be male or female, on our campus taking advantage of our services. We have a WIC clinic on campus. We also have a food pantry. So we provide a number of different services on campus that are available for both male and females.
Tim Doyle from Catholic Charities. The only 2 programs that are segregated by sex are our shelter programs. They are from MIA. across the street is the Shade Tree, and we work closely with them to make sure that any women and families with children have opportunities there as well. Our case managers will be their case managers.
Thank you very much. I think we've got the timer's about to go up. Any members have another, about 30 seconds? Having seen none, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Lovely. Next, I'd like to ask the Family Promise of Las Vegas. Yes, Member
Member
McCoy.
McCoy, I just have a question of staff, please, at the moment. We seem to have a lot of ambiguity in the collaboration question on several of the applicants we've seen previously, and it's continuing on today. So we would like to have, I would, hopefully everybody else, would like to have some sort of specific collaboration, because when we're scoring them accordingly, but it seems that if MOUs are in place at the beginning of 17, they did not include it. So I would just like some direction on how you would like us to proceed with that.
Sean Bolger, staff, we can definitely have a discussion with staff next year moving forward to make sure that it's understood the intent was to have agencies talk about their collaborations, and if they have written MOUs or letters of agreement, to attach them so that you would know that they had the formal process in place. But as you learned on Tuesday, that there are a lot of informal collaborations that happen as a result of the work that's done about it.
Follow-up question, Member McCoy. At the training that you spoke about, was that discussed at that time?
Of the application, the technical assistance workshop. I believe it was, but I need to go over that PowerPoint to ensure that we discuss that.
Any further questions before we move on, members? With that, Family Promise of Las Vegas, please. Thank you. Again, please make sure you speak loudly and that you do identify yourself for the record when you speak or make a comment or answer a question. Thank you. Whenever you're ready, go ahead. Yeah, whenever you're ready.
We're just waiting for the ghost sign.
No. Oh, you're in the ghost sign. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Terry Lindeman. I'm the Executive Director of Family Promise of Las Vegas. Today, attending with me is our Program Manager, Barbara Coggins, our current Board President and last year's Treasurer, Randy Mitchell, and our new Board Treasurer, Mr. Chris Horton, who is also employed at Credit One Bank as Vice President of Risk Management. It's our pleasure to be here today. Our grant, the Bridge Home, was written this year to please request $50,000 for an intense case management program, which is an increase in the work that we do now through a collaboration that we have formed with the Las Vegas Rescue Mission. Over the years, Family Promise of Las Vegas has partnered with all shelters and all agencies in our community that are ending homelessness for families with minor children. I love listening to all the work that Catholic Charities wants to do. We've been a partner of theirs for all the years I've been here. We use their Homeless to Home as a referral for housing. Family Promise is an agency. It's a nonprofit 501c3. We're not a religious organization, but our core program is an interfaith shelter that is operated by up to 20 interfaith congregations in our community that are Catholic, Protestant, Jewish, and Muslim. One of our core values is that we do not proselytize, we do not talk about faith. But what Family Promise does in every community that we operate, which is over 200 across the nation, is provide a platform for people of faith to open up their buildings at night and provide shelter. Our case management is done at our day center, which is at 320 South 9th Street, down near Bridger and 9th. And we provide intense case management to 4 to 5 families at a time that are in our sheltering program as well as families in some of our housing programs come in for weekly and monthly case management. This grant is to expand the capacity of families we can serve a month. We can serve 4 to 5 families a month in our sheltering program, and according to HMIS, our average length of stay is 45 days. And that is from time of entering homeless to time of leaving with a form of income, which could be disability, it could be employment, it could be unemployment, and also having achieved housing. And those are tracked and measured through HMIS. With our partnership with the Las Vegas Rescue Mission, we will be able to increase to helping 5 more families a month at least, making our number 10 families a month. We believe that we can double the amount of people that we serve in a year. And furthermore, at least 60% of the families we serve are from City of Las Vegas zip codes every year. And that is because we operate very close to City Hall here, and primarily most of the families coming to us and being referred to us are from zip code 89106, zip code 89101. Our goals have always been to support the City of Las Vegas mandates and needs to help the homeless, and we're very proud to be in this zip code.
All right, that's 3 minutes. Thank you so much. Members, anyone have any questions for Family Promise of Las Vegas? Member McGrath.
Member McGrath. Terry, thank you. Now, when you had mentioned 45 days, where were you last year at this time? Is that in terms, do you want to certainly lessen that, or is that, I'm thinking of 45 days to turn somebody's situation around is pretty good.
It has
right?
stayed pretty static for the last 12 months at 45 days, and that is because our case management is extremely intense.
They're very engaged. Okay.
Member McCoy.
I didn't have to have a comment, and I wanted to commend you on your collaboration efforts with all the other entities that you work with among the cities of homelessness. And it's just sad at the same time to see that there's so much homelessness in this city that we continue to add case managers and case managers and case managers. So I want to commend you for the collaboration efforts that you work with us. Thank you.
Member McGrath.
Member McGrath. Terry, can I ask, are there any other agencies collaborating with the Las Vegas Rescue Mission, or is it just Family Promise?
To my knowledge right now, there are no other agencies that are collaborating in a formal MOU.
Okay.
This program developed after their current manager coming and talking to us about the need to have case management. We offered to train, because we do have professional training material, and then he decided he would like to hire our staff to do the work.
And how long have you been collaborating?
This is a new project. We will actually open it up as a pilot project next month,
Got it. Okay.
and then formally July 9th.
Thank you.
Member Washington.
Member Washington, looking at your roster of folks on your staff, I noticed that Sherwood Wade is a former client
Yes.
of yours as well. I find that to be commendable, not just to you, but also to him, and that showing that your services are obviously working, that now you've actually employed. Is that something that you strive for? Is that something that you're striving for with this program to add, whether to be employed or this is like a mentor to other folks as your program goes along? Is that something you thought about?
Yes, it has always been a model of Family Promise to incorporate former guests who put the clients as guests. And in Sherwood's case, he's an excellent example. We also recommended him to the board for United Way, and he was accepted. And so he also served on that board as a voice for people who have experienced homelessness. And we're currently recruiting an amazing man that actually was the MVP at UNLV on the football team in '79. We recently helped him a single dad with his son, and he's going to be coming onto our board.
And I just make one clarifying statement, Member Janison. He serves on the EFSP board for
Yes, and I meant to
not
say
the
that,
database
yes.
board, just
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a huge asset. So thank you for bringing, it's really brought a lot to that discussion.
I meant to get that in there.
That's it.
Thank you for the clarification. Thank you. Any other members have any more questions for our guest, Family Promise of Las Vegas? Seeing none at this time, thank you so much.
May I make one last statement that I didn't want to take time to respond to the pre-award risk analysis, but I did type my response, and I would like to leave it for
You can
further
leave that
evaluation.
there, and we'll make sure that, like I said in the opening statement, that we will get that information, leave it right there, and we'll get it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Is everybody, I want to keep us on an even keel, but I want to make sure everybody's ready to go.
Ready to
Okay?
go.
Ready to go.
Ready,
Awesome.
ready.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call First Person Care Clinic. Is that correct? Again, make sure that you state you identify yourself clearly for the record and that you speak loudly. Thank you.
Thank you. This
Whenever
is my
you're-
first time, so. My name is Tina Alicia Drago. I'm the CEO of the First Person Care Clinic, and our program, First Person CC Homeless Program, was developed as a direct result to our hospital readmission programs that we're working with the hospitals on. We do have formal MOUs with Desert Springs Hospital, Sunrise Hospital, and University Hospital. What we do is we work in with IPC hospitals for patients that are discharged from the hospitals. Normally, readmit at around 20% and within the 30-day time period, and we've engaged with them to help the patients through their hurdles after they get discharged and the complexity of being discharged with multiple medical issues. And our care coordination team, which we call Caroline, is the key to it. We have 2 people right now that they work on about 350 referrals a month. So if you take an average person who gets discharged from the hospital with hypertension and diabetes, they may need to have a patient prescription program where they get insulin for free. They may need to have a specialist look at them. They may need to have get insurance. They may only have had medical emergency insurance in the hospitals, and they need to get regular insurance so that they can keep their health up. They may need to have homeless transportation issues and housing issues. A lot of times, especially for our senior population, when they go into the hospital, they end up losing their housing while they're in the hospital, especially if they're in there for a prolonged stay of 3 weeks or more. The chances of losing their housing is exponential. So when they come out, we wrap our arms around them and help them with these services. We do this for everybody that gets discharged to us. We're considered a safe discharge point. However, we found that growing, there's a population of homeless. And it could be people that are squatting. It could be family members. It could be people with children. It could be individual single adults. But we find that the instability of housing, coupled with their health issues, make it very, very difficult for this population to actually get themselves back on track. So our program is designed to help them wrap our arms around them, help them with simple things, because they're in survival mode. So help them keep their appointments, make referrals, understand the maze of our healthcare system, and make sure that they get the resources that they need, whether they're medical, food, housing, and insurance. And so this program that we developed for the city is focused just on the homeless population. And it's done, we're doing that because we're seeing a disproportionate amount of people actually going back and forth into the hospital and not getting the care they need when they're dealing with a homeless or couch surfing or a squatting situation. Did I do that less than 2 minutes?
Yes, you did.
We're First Person Care Clinic.
Now you're doing it.
Okay, we're a 4-year-old. We just started our 5th year in existence, and we opened up directly to address the healthcare issues and disparities in the city of Las Vegas.
Okay. Does any board member have any questions? Member Washington?
Member Washington, you just alluded to this is, you said 5 years.
We just started our 5th year.
Started your 5th year. In the the first time that you applied for a grant this way, what made you decide to apply now for funding?
Well, one, we passed the threshold. I think it's 3 years is, we're looking for somebody who has stability in the market, 3 years. Last year in July 1st, we absorbed the Huntridge Teen Clinic. And with the absorption of the Huntridge Teen Clinic and the expansion to Valley High School, we became keenly aware of the adolescent homeless population and the risks that are associated with that as well. And even the students at Valley High School that don't have a steady place to live, that are dealing with health issues. Last year we had 36 pregnant young ladies that not only needed to have prenatal care, but also needed to be able to have a stable environment to raise their children.
Member Jordan.
I'll co-chair Jordan. Member Jordan. Anyway, in regards to, in question 10, we're talking about, we're driven by HUD now, well, or before. So they're emphasizing needs measurements, performance-based, and so forth. I noticed in question 10 that you have stated that you use electronic medical records, so forth and so on. Is that a type of software that you're having to purchase, or is it part of?
Well, First Person Care Clinic is a federally qualified healthcare center, so we meet federal guidelines. We're the only lookalike in the state of Missouri, which means we meet all the guidelines without getting the money, so without getting grant dollars. We use a medical EMR system. It's an electronic medical record system. That system allows us to track our evidence base of how well our patients doing health-wise, social-wise, and also closing the loop on referrals and making sure that those patients are actually following up on the referrals. And we're calling them and telling them don't put your appointment tomorrow, things like that. We are actually closing the loop on that, and that is a clinical measure that the federal government actually tracks and launches.
Member Rebella had her hand up first, and then Member McCoy.
Deputy Rebella, kind of piggybacking on that question, is this a program that you've developed that specifically for the city of Las Vegas, or is this a program that's modeled after programs that are held in other places? And are you using their best practices here?
So this program is a national program. It's purchased, and we use it to track, and it has best practices in it. So we have alerts, we have flags. It does tell us to follow up. We have follow-up measures, and it does tell us we have yellow and red areas that tell us if somebody's not meeting the criteria that are necessary to either meet or exceed the federal guidelines.
Member McCoy.
My question is, I was trying to understand because you said that your clients are homeless. And so how are they staying in contact with you, or you staying in contact with them when their primary issue is homelessness and not so much medical care? So I was trying to make that go together.
Okay, so that's a great question. Majority of our patients, I think all of them, we make sure that they have the Affordable Care Act health and that they get 200 minutes a month and called the Obama Home and whatever. We're really good at keeping in contact with them from the 1st to the 20th of the month, but by the 20th they usually run out of minutes. And then it's a scramble. So our referral department really is keenly aware that any referrals, appointments, communication really should be done in the first 2 weeks, ideally or 3 weeks at a month. So that last week when we do lose track of them, we don't actually set them up for failure.
Just to follow up to that, but your services are medical predominantly, right?
Oh, so we use text messaging and email.
So my question was going to be, if I'm homeless, I'm just trying to connect the dots, and homelessness being my major emergency, and then keeping up with you and doctor's appointments and follow-ups and stuff like that.
So a lot of people become homeless because they go into the hospital, or they use the hospital as a shelter. Either case, it's a health-related issue, and a lot of time, more than 50% of the time, there's a mental health component to it as well. And so if we can help them stay on the medication, we can help them get the services that they need, the wraparound social services, of transportation, follow up on their appointments. If they feel better, they're going to act better, they're going to be able to cognitively think about getting that job, staying in their apartment, moving forward. But if they're not, then they're going to go and they're going to basically squat at the hospitals, or they're going to put themselves into the emergency department and the emergency line unit.
Member Jensen.
Member Jansen, so I think the question is, are you tracking them for those that you're helping, did they stay in their house after they left the hospital? Is that where I think that you're?
Our tracking is the readmissions rates following coming out of hospital, because we know that they circle around the city. And we know that there's probably about 750 people talking to the hospital that are regular frequent flyers in the hospital. And we're working with them. And then we're also working with Nevada Hand, working specifically on their people that live in our senior apartment complexes. And when they move out, or when they go to the hospital, that they're actually tracked from the hospital and coming back to the apartment complexes, so that Nevada Hand doesn't interfere and they have to turn over their apartment. If they know they're in a SNF, if they know they're where they're at, so we actually are the link for them as well, so that they don't lose their housing.
Members, any members have any further questions? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you
First
very much,
person,
Leah.
Karen Koenig. Appreciate it. Okay, at this time, I would like to call Help of Southern Nevada Emergency Resource Services. Thank you so much for coming. Again, please make sure you state your name for the record when you speak or answer a question, and speak project, please, so we can hear you.
Hello, everyone. I am Bridget Clardy, the Grants and Compliance Manager for Help of Southern Nevada. On the right is Kelly Robeson, the Chief Social Services Officer. Bill O'Reilly, who is the President and CEO of Help of Southern Nevada. And Jennifer Barcelona, ERS Manager. I'd like to begin our presentation by giving you the overview that you requested. Help is asking for $70,000 to support the emergency resource services. Specifically, we'll be assisting 10 City of Las Vegas households with rapid rehousing and 5 households with homeless prevention. The reason that we're here is that we get a lot of calls and requests for services from City of Las Vegas residents, and that's why we continually are submitting our application this time. The ERS program provides right-sized interventions for homeless, at-risk, and low-income residents of the City of Las Vegas. The primary goal is to assist families and individuals recover from their immediate crisis and through intensive case management services, improve problem solving and crisis management skills to reduce the number of crises in the future. This is accomplished through, when somebody comes in, the first thing that happens is a needs assessment, which helps to identify challenges and goals. Homeless prevention, obviously, is to avoid eviction and the disruption of the household's life. Rapid rehousing reduces the length of time being homeless. Housing search assistance, it helps to reduce the stress of finding housing, because it's terribly frustrating when you don't qualify for apartment after apartment. Utility assistance, we're able to assist with the continuation or initiating of utility services. SNAP, for those of us who own food stamps, we are a trusted partner. We are able to accept the applications and conduct the interviews for that program. Baby First Services, which is education to reduce the rate of low birth weight babies. Intensive case management, and we are one of those agencies that really does intensive case management. We walk through all of the issues with the resident. We transport them. We help set up appointments, but we're also modeling behavior so that when they're done, they know how to take care of the issues in their life. Wraparound services are there to address barriers and challenges. And we do give referrals, but we do it in 2 different ways. There's active referrals, again, where we're transporting somebody, we're making that physical connection for the resident, or passive referrals, which are usually like maybe additional clothing or something like that the client will take care of for themselves. And I am done with my 3 minutes.
this time. All right. Gotta respect that.
No, some of the questions.
I'll open the floor up to members that have any question for Help of Southern Nevada Emergency Resource Services. Member Ravella.
Thank you. And thank you for coming to the last meeting, by the way, we appreciated it. Question on number 9, you heard in the very first meeting that we had, the orientation meeting, and you've heard us speak about it earlier today. One of the biggest focuses that we're being handed from HUD is quantifiable tracking. It's making sure that the programs that we're funding can provide proof that and demonstrate that they are helping our citizens long term and that we're getting the best bang for our buck. So can you help me clarify a little bit on how you guys, what you're doing for that long-term tracking, what you're doing or if you're going to be doing more to help do that?
One of the things that we set the goals in the grant, which was for 6 of the 8 participants in Rocky Housing to stay 6 months longer. That is one of HUD's goals, in housing. We will stay with them. This agency has been in existence for 40 years. When people access services with help, they don't really leave. They call back when they have issues or concerns. Maybe it's for utility systems, maybe it's for SNAP. Their kids are growing up and now need, Shannon West. So a lot of times we never really lose contact with them. Another goal was that they would participate in intensive case management services. So again, we're building those relationships so that typically don't lose contact with them for long periods of time. In fact, the coordinated intake, we're getting referrals from people who've already served. That for whatever reason, that first intervention didn't take, and so they're back in the system and we're trying to help them again. Okay. And the last one was for that 54% would attend our work programs and try to improve their education and employment skills so that they can gain reliable employment so they can escape this circle. Did that answer?
How are you going to be tracking that?
We are participating in HMIS. All the data is in the HMIS. You can pull out any kinds of reports that you need. It's actually a good system for that. And we're required to report to all municipalities as well as COC and do an annual report. So we have all the data that we need to track that.
Great, thank you.
Member Washington.
Member Washington, talk to me a little bit about your sustainability plan. You currently receive funding from HUD, State of Nevada, Clark County, City of Las Vegas, and such. Do you have any, and it says that you're researching funding streams, other funding streams. Tell me about that research. What are you guys thinking about doing in order to help sustain these programs outside of that?
Yeah, Noel O'Reilly, President and CEO. So one of the things that we took on this year, starting July 1, we at Health have never had a development department, one that they're truly focused on finding new foundations, revenue streams, and in anticipation of our succession plan and whatnot, that was something that the management team came up with was, hey, this is what we'd like to invest in. So we now have, Bridget is an addition to our agency, but we also now have 2.5 FTEs that is their main focus. We actually have a development department, and I know it seems kind of weird that we were 47 years old and now we're establishing a development department, but Help is kind of a duct tape and paper clip sort of organization, and we have basically, it's always fundraising and development has always been a slash to other people's jobs, with Terry's retirement, we kind of moved forward with that, and we have made some really good strides. We have secured a lot of corporate and new funders that we had no idea were out there until we put new FTEs to the process. So how do we get in to see these new people that are really into our community and opening businesses and whatnot? So that's something that we're pretty excited about, and that's something that we continue as well as other government funding sources that are becoming available.
If I may add, in between submitting the grant and today, Kelly worked with the Department of Family Services, and they're going to be doing a fee-for-service for the youth center as well, so that will help bring in new revenue stream.
Member Jennison.
So, Terry Janison, did you say, is this a new program or yours expanding?
We have a youth center, we're building a new building.
Yes, here.
Oh, so sorry. No, we're expanding services.
Okay.
We're serving more than we did last year. We're out of twice.
And did I understand that the dollars would go for specifically people that were already housed and would give them supplemental for rent and utilities?
Rapid rehousing is for people that fall into homelessness, and it's designed to get them back out quickly. And then the homeless prevention rule, which we're only asking for 5, yes, that would be someone who is at risk of becoming homeless. We step in to try and help them.
It is
get
both.
housing. It is both, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Correct, Ms. Upon
Any further questions for Help of Southern Nevada? Seeing none, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. Thank you.
We have the next one.
All right. And you're the next one also, which is Help of Southern Nevada, Shannon West.
And you know the other two. This is Heather Engel. She's the program director of Shannon West.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Okay. So Help of Southern Nevada is here today to request $80,000 for the Shannon West Homeless Youth Center to provide transformative services to homeless and at-risk youth and young adults 16 to 24. We are requesting funding to support the activities of the shelter, or of the center, excuse me. And you asked about funding. There is a great deal of layering that goes into the funding for Shannon West to make it successful, and I can say what a success it is. Before I came on board, they did tremendous things in raising money for the new shelter being built on Help Street campus, which Kalala will go over in depth. The Shannon West provides safe and stable housing for youth, basic needs and food, intensive case management, personalized, person-centered case planning, ADLs or activities of daily living, because a lot of these youth have never been out on their own. They really have very characteristic skills that are going to help them in life. Education, employment, managing money, knowing how to wash your clothes, and meal planning, and nutrition, all of those things they are learning at Shannon West. We also help with tenancy support. These kids have never lived on their own. They don't have viable employment. They can't go out in the market and get. I mean, if they're under 18, they can't even sign a lease. But even 18 to 24-year-olds that have never truly lived on their own, they have no concept of what they're getting into. So it's very difficult. That housing component or that goal, that benchmark that HUD wants to move into permanent housing, is not truly realistic for this population, not right away. We assist them with employment through the Help Center Work Program. We also have full-credential staff that help with addiction and behavioral health services. Anyone that has an income saves 80% of their income, and it is totally given back to them when they leave the program. Some youth will request funding for personal items and things like that as they're going through month to month. We also talk about long-term financial literacy. They need to understand the components of money and credit and that type of thing, so we do try to educate them there as well. And then support services, obviously, to remove any barriers that might be stumbling blocks to their success. Again, we are building a new facility that just got windows, right? On the Help Street campus, and at full capacity, it will have 166 youth. That's at full capacity, and again, Kalala will go into more depth. And actually, I feel like I should stop here and also speak about the shelter.
Okay, so Shannon West, the new shelter, is 6 months away from opening. This is truly one of the biggest performances. Somebody asked me about that.
3 minutes. Member Janison.
So, not specifically about the new shelter, but is this a new program?
The new Shannon West is not a new program. It is an expansion of our current program, 65 beds to 166 beds. And then it's the biggest collaborative effort that I have the pleasure of being a part of. The City of Las Vegas joined with Clark County, City of North Las Vegas, and City of Henderson fund the capital project. But that fell short a little bit. So we also raised $1 million of private money, and then beyond that, we went out and secured new markets tax credit for the remaining 2/3. And I was told that we were 53rd in the country of utilization of those new market tax credits. So we hope that this is opening a door for other projects here in our community. So we're super excited about bringing that together, and we brought additional private dollars from Nevada Women's Philanthropy for the furniture grant. So it really is a truly collaborative effort community-wide, and we're just told because we know we needed new additional staff for the new site. The Junior League of Las Vegas stepped in and said they would fund 2 additional positions for 2 years. And the new facility is eligible for a fee for service, so there'll be additional revenue streams that aren't available to us now in the current.
Thank you. Just a quick follow-up. So, it's incredible, and I love everything that you just said. And so, but again, on the bonus question, you answered no on the collaboration plan. And so,
because we didn't have a formal plan, but in reading the instructions,
Yeah.
I didn't feel like
it's
we
just
met
really a
that.
struggle as of grading all of these. And I know that you just talked about this, but it's just that's very frustrating.
I think it was the description of the collaborative plan that led to stop.
Thank you. Sorry,
Don't apologize. We're all here to do what's in the best for our city. So that's a valid point, I believe. Does any other member have any further questions for our guests? Member McCoy.
So lastly, you guys are all invited to our contact information. We hold now weekly hard hat tours, so if you guys are interested to get a sneak peek of the property, please reach out to us, and we'll be glad to start moving into the monthly.
Member Rebello.
Thank you, Mr. Rebello. If nobody else has any questions, I would like to hear more about the new facility. Give you an opportunity to talk about it.
Sure. So it's right. I can throw a softball from my office and hit it from where our offices are. So that'll be that's something that's awesome. It's 3 stories, 37,000 square feet. It will have 40 dorm rooms with 40 beds in it, as well as 6 step-up units. Where what we have found in our current facility and programming is some of our kids stabilize and do really, really well. They accomplish things really awesomely on their education plans, their training for professional development and all that. And then they get work because their work, But the one thing that they're not quite ready to go out, it's almost like too much freedom immediately. And I don't know about you guys, but when I went to college, I never budgeted enough for the laundry, the coin-operated laundry in my money. So it helped me when I had family to, can I come over and do my laundry at your place? So sometimes that freedom is too much, although we try to prepare our youth. And what happens then is they have to come back after, they fail, basically, and they have to come back. But they're still not so far gone that they need to, all the structure of our current program. And so the 6 step-up units is something that we were able to accomplish, and they're not going to be as structured in programming, so that was kind of an exciting part for us to be able to add to the programming. And then, of course, the expanded capacity, and then being so close on our campus, it will help with our employees. It's a 24-hour facility, and some of our employees at times feel a little disjointed from us because they're an overnight employee and they can't participate in things. And I think it'll be really, really well worth it to even have the morale of employees that right now feel, they work 3.5 miles away from our campus, and I think it's really amazing, and it's been an 8-year process for us because as soon as we took over the facility, I think the first thing we wanted to do was move. successfully connect them. And we think removing them from the homeless corridor is probably the best thing that we could have done for our youth, and then being closer to their well-being. So we're excited, and we'd love for you guys to come out and see now that it's safe for you to walk through at 3:30 in the afternoon. And there's, it looks like the rendering. It looks like the floor plan is awesome, and just things that we don't have right now.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Okay. Homeless Helpers Care Complex. Please remember to identify yourself for the record, sir.
All right, my name is Matthew Ellis. I am the director and only employee for the care complex. I know that you guys may see that as the only employee as something that might be a little unusual, which it is. We believe in innovation and creativity when it comes to homelessness. Our property is at 204 Master Lane behind Catholic Charities, right down the street from Shannon West Youth Center. And what we do there, we like to focus not on temporal or survival services, but transitional services. And we've developed a collaboration effort with all the emergency shelters in the area and also all homeless outreach groups. So we have honored over 200 referrals within the corridor of Hope alone last year with birth certificates, IDs, work cards, resumes, locker services, etc. We do have lockers on staff or on site. We have over 108 lockers currently. And what I'm here to talk today about is an expansion program from the streets to sustainability. Through being the only employee and being able to do this, I've averaged out that in order to be able to prepare somebody for employment, an individual that's experiencing homelessness, it costs roughly $120 for our organization. Some of it may cost more, some of it may cost less. We're talking about birth certificate, ID, bus transportation, resume, work clothing, mailbox services, all of these things above. We are requesting $75,000, and this is how we would spend it. We would spend $15,000 to prep 150 individuals for all of the above. The birth certificate, the ID, the work cards, etc., to be able to prepare them for employment. Just understanding the crisis and identification that there is out there, since there is very little assistance for identification, this would help not only just with employment, but within other social services that these clients would need. We would ask for a $30,000 case management. I could split that into 1, 2, or 3, either practical students, etc., to do financial case management for these clients. On top of that, we'd ask for $30,000 for route to housing. We have a support letter from Veterans Village. We are not only to use them, we can use anybody. We're looking for the best return on our investment. Veterans Village, why we chose them, because they do have a food pantry on site and a crisis intervention center, and we can get a client in there for $20 a day. While the client is in there, which is only going to be roughly about 25 clients in the housing, those that have full-time employment, the goal is for them to bank their paychecks, be financially responsible, to be able to save their money for after that time that they are in there, they can afford their own housing.
All right, thank you. Members, do you have any questions for Homeless Helpers Care Complex?
Member Janice.
Member Janice.
So how do you do it as a one-man band?
It's crazy. I can't say any other way other than it is crazy. My wife sometimes, with my wife and my newborn, she wonders why I'm not home that much. But however, passion drives us. I used to work in child adoption and also foster care services, and then I met Mike, and I took a pay cut, and I realized, Mike has a business plan that's flawless. If you look at the business plan, we have very little overhead. My salary, we have utilities in the building because we own the building outright, and then services.
And who's Mike?
Mike is our founder. I'm sorry, Mike Swecker. He's our founder,
Okay.
absolutely, and president.
So just a quick follow-up, Member Janice. So on a day-to-day basis, then, how do you do it?
Okay.
What is it with one person? You use volunteers?
Okay.
Or,
Yeah, so that's kind of our bread and butter. What we do is we do peer-to-peer services. So I take those that are on the street that can accept accountability and responsibility, and I put them to work. What I found out is that other people that are experiencing homelessness trust other people that are experiencing homelessness. And if I give responsibility to somebody on the streets, they change instantly. I truly believe that they do. So I have clients that I found out that were a 24-year paralegal, making nearly $100,000 in San Francisco. She's one of my head volunteers. I have other individuals that when they come and they volunteer for bus passes, for hygiene packages, for clothing, for whatever they need, work cards, and they become my immediate caseload. I get them jobs, get them out into the world, and then I help them with a small financial case management program. Yeah, no problem.
Member Rebello.
Mr. Rebello, excuse me. You've heard us mention it a couple of times, the documentation, the tracking. How is that going to be done? How are you going to be able to provide the information to the city, to the staff, demonstrating the goals, that you're meeting the goals, that your people are staying off the streets afterwards, et cetera? Nothing else at this time, sorry.
No, you're fine. I think retention efforts can be extremely difficult for anybody that presents today. Within those 2 months that we have been within housing, we will have a financial case management, or financial case management will be on top of that. But one thing to understand is that how we survive currently is I receive referrals from the existing case managers that are in the shelters with different organizations. And once I receive that referral, I have a track record, and that person I'm building social capital. That individual doesn't only just have that case manager, case worker, they have me as well. And so it's building that bridge of collaboration so we can be able to share those numbers and those financials and for those referrals with that case manager, whether it be at West Care, whether it be at Shade Tree, et cetera, that we can merge the gap and we can have all the information that's needed that needs to be presented to the city.
Okay, Chair Miller, I have a question that kind of piggybacks on Member Rebello in terms of how your streets to sustainability program. How are you assessing it? Are you using a particular software besides just referrals? I mean, what are you doing to show some quantitative growth in what your program is doing?
Well, currently we do not use HMIS. We are not signed up. However, if that is a requirement, we will sign up with HMIS. And the thing is to understand is we basically are a service out there for other shelters, different agencies, etc. They can utilize us as we collaborate with them. Do we expect for them to be able to do the vetting process behind that client and they input into HMIS? Yes, we do. Are some of them already inputting into HMIS when they refer it over to us and we take care of the payment? Yes, they are. So those are some other things as well.
Thank you. Member McCoy.
And since you kind of brought that up, it just made me ask a question, is that, could you guys, for your purposes of tracking, be able to get that information if you're assuming that they're putting it into their HMIS system and tracking them, at least for your own understanding to know what's taking place with clients to be able to track them? Because as they said, moving forward, HUD wants to see a tracking record. So maybe you could ask those agencies that you're collaborating with that use those systems that are referring them back and forth to provide you with tracking on those specific clients.
No, definitely. Electronic trail is always important. We do have a paper trail for every single referral. We will not see a client without a paper trail, but definitely that's a great advice.
Okay.
Yes.
Member Washington, so since you are more in advance or when we look at your sustainability plan, it doesn't actually say how you guys would be able to, if you were to get this grant, be able to sustain that money right now. Do you have other streams of income or other ideas as far as development, as far as fundraising, in order to keep this going?
Absolutely. We're willing to entertain any ideas. We do have sustainability about $80,000 from private donors for about 3 within the community, and that's really what is included. On top of that, I've been able to be successful in fundraising $36,000 in my first year. I know that doesn't seem like very much, but in order for us to be able to have sustainability of 80,000 plus 36 on a first year basis, and then with the amount of people that we have been helping within the last 18 months, I believe that a fundraising component would be extremely successful in our near future.
So follow up.
And staying on that topic, in the way that you've been able to raise the basis, Scott, when you tell us like some of the ways that you're doing
No, I think that, and I would invite all you guys to come as well. Come see the property. I think that when you see the property and you meet some of our clients, and we focus on qualitative data. I know we talk about quantitative data all the time, but why we can mold and shape our program and be able to have the success that we do is because I rely upon those that are experienced in that business. And I ask them, what is working? What is not? Did you like Project Homeless Connect? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? And so we can be able to mold and shape our programs from that. And when people in the community come and see that firsthand, they tend to have the heartstrings plucked and see, man, I can get a return on my investment of my hard-earned money in this community by investing it here. And that's what we do. What this the streets of sustainability plan is, we believe we can get a better return on your investment of tax dollars.
Okay, Member Jordan.
Member Jordan, a question for you in regards to, as Member Washington alluded to, one-man band or one person. Question to you is this: when you get sick or you're out for a week, a month, what happens to the streets to sustainability?
You're talking about the program, the expansion program.
Yeah.
That's the expansion program run basically. I just manage it. The case manager's going to be the one visiting those clients on a weekly basis. Does that make sense? So it doesn't mean that they can't be able to take care of the service as well, or their birth certificate, ID, etc. That's also going to be ran through the other case managers that are going to be referring the clients over to me as well. So I'm going to be relying upon them, etc.
I have to stop at this time. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I also have the pictograph. I don't know if you guys are seeing
If you put it right there, we'll make sure that the members all get an opportunity to see it or yes, thank you so much. Nevada Health Centers. If you want to come forward, please. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure that you've already signed and you've been sitting and you've been hearing. Please identify yourself for the record. And when you speak, and you'll have 3 minutes. Thank you. Whenever you're ready.
I'm Jeannie Biasi. I am the Grants and Funds Procurement Specialist at Nevada Health Centers. This is Jeffrey McLean, who is our Director of Dental Operations. We'd like to give you a quick overview of our program that we submitted our CDBG grant for. It's our Homeless Outreach Oral Health Care and Supportive Services program. We operate the Las Vegas Outreach Clinic as one of our 18 health centers throughout Nevada. 7 of those are in the city of Las Vegas. And we have 4 in the homeless corridor. Our Las Vegas Outreach Clinic is one of those facilities. That's where most of our homeless patients are seen in triage. And then they're providing dental services over at our eastern facility. This year we had asked to expand because we had a lot of adults that came in last year that were really in need of services. And we've also asked to add a component of homeless children to our program. Our total ask is $50,000. We'd like to serve 25 adults and 30 children. We have a collaborative partnership with Ronald McDonald House Charities to serve children because they are one of our sponsors of our Ronald McDonald Care Mobile. This is a mobile dental unit that we operate statewide, and we piloted this program in the city of Las Vegas last year. It was very successful. So with our program, we would like to bring more services into the city of Las Vegas to serve the homeless patients in need. And reason being, we find children that are in need of dental care, they experience a lot of pain, miss school days, their academic performance is less. And so we want to remedy that. And also, as far as adults, we find that they miss work, if they have a job, or not having teeth, or needing dental work can prohibit them from stabilizing and getting a job or securing a better job. So this is what we'd like to do with our funding.
All right, that any members have any questions for Nevada Health Centers for their oral care program? Good. Member Janison, do you have a question?
Member Janison. So this is not a new program.
It is not a new program.
Looking for expansion. All right, I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Member Revelle.
I gotta go. No, you go ahead. Don't simply. You can only, you're looking at 25 adults and 30 children, and we know that need out there is way bigger than that. How do you determine who your clients are going to be?
That is an average, because we benchmark a certain average of what we think it will cost a certain patient, and that's how we came up with our grant, et cetera. But, you know, this number, usually we end up serving more patients than this, because some patients come and need less services, and you can have a few that need more. So that is, every patient's really different, so that is pretty
How do you
average.
pick who the clients are going to be? See, there's some that you have to say, how do you decide this client, not that client?
So, yeah, Matt McWayne from the Back Health Center. So what we do is we basically let our LVOC outreach manager kind of identify those folks that present to him and show that they need dental care. And then in turn, we, in our dental office itself, we actually screen those folks, and then we determine the ones that have a greater need. Now, obviously, you know, like you said, if we ask $50,000, the need is way larger than that. But what we try and do is, I really don't even like grants where I have to put numbers to it, because I like to say, hey, give us $50,000 and let us take care of the greater need of who it is. Some folks, they present to our clinic, they might only need $200 worth of work. That's an example in cleaning. But there's other folks that present to our clinic that basically have not seen a dentist in several years, and they have lost all their teeth, and they need dentures. That's $4,000 for one patient. So, but what we try to do over the period of time is to just say, okay, well, let's just say that our average will be $1,000 per patient that we will allow, so that we can give and do the most greater good. But it really is based on who presents at the clinic at that real-time moment, and then, you know, how far the money will go. And in addition to that, we also have other funds that we also solicit that help us, like if we might do $2,000 off of a CDBG grant. If there's another donor that somewhere has given us something else that we're allowed to continue servicing that person, then we'll put them on something else. But if not, you know, we tell them that we'll put your name on a waiting list, and once more funds become available, then we'll reach back out to you, contact you, and then we'll start, you know, trying to provide more care. But we will never, ever be able to take care of the need that's there, because I tell folks right now, even, and for us, it's even locked space. You know, we have a facility that has 3 dentists and 2 hygienists. And so for every one person that I get through the door, I'm turning away 5.
Member Jameson.
So, Member Jameson, so I think that's a good follow-up question for me. Going back to again what HUD has asked us to do, either new or increased percentage, and tracking. How are you, is there a percentage increase that you're trying to say that you're going to reach with this dollars, either with the amount of people and or the services provided? So can you talk about like what that percentage would be with these dollars, and then either by individuals or by the services? So I think that's going to help us decide, because it's going to be tough to figure out who gets these dollars this year with the criteria that's been given to us.
Jeannie Biasy. Well, we do have some funding for our health centers through HRSA, and through that, as an FQHC, we're required to meet 16 clinical performance measures across the board at all of our health centers. We also have a 17 measure that works with the homeless, and then we also have a children's dental sealant measure that was implemented new this year. It's not in this application because it just came about since we wrote this application. But the idea is to get more kids sealants and into care. And so through that process, we have these clinical performance measures. All that work is tracked in NextGen, which is our electronic health record. It's interfaceable with the Health Information Exchange, the HIE here at the state. And also we have a dental application that we just, a dental interface that we just put on that Matthew probably give you a little bit more detail on, to do specific dental tracking for follow-up on patients to make sure we complete their treatment plan and to make sure there's an increase. And most of our clinical measures on an annual basis, we have anywhere between a 1 to 3% increase.
Yeah, and just to kind of get a little further into that, and that was one of the reasons why we started really pushing our Ronald McDonald Care Mobile here just in the last 3 months. We specifically targeted some of our WIC centers so that we can get out to more pediatric places that we can bring the care to the point of service where those folks are at, instead of having to rely on them to sort of come to us. Because some of them have transportation issues and they'll make it to us. Some of them have, needs where the first thing that they're thinking about is their medical care, so they don't really care about the dental care. And the parents are more in line with, hey, how am I going to feed my child? So we're trying to break down all of those barriers and bring the care to where it needs to be. But we have, like she said, in our NextGen system, a system that shows us how many folks we've tracked, and I can tell you that over the course of just this last 6 months, through all of our funding sources that we received, just on our Care Mobile alone, we provided $195,000 worth of care to children just between October and January. So we are making a dip, but there's a larger dip that needs to be made.
Member McCoy.
I remember previously there was another agency that came before us that provided dental, like mobile dental, something like that.
Future Smiles?
I think you guys.
So we had negotiations and we had talks with Future Smiles about trying to, we still do collaborate, they still do refer patients to us, but within the last year we also tried to figure out how we could, sort of maybe merge, so to speak. Unfortunately, that didn't quite work out, and as a result of that, it's kind of stalled us, because one of the things that we really want to do is to be able to get back into the Clark County school system so that we can start moving throughout the school system and start taking care of a lot more of these children. But many years ago, there was an issue with another entity.
Oh, no, sorry. Buzzer went off before she was going to go. This is that time.
I have the epic.
We know. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Salvation Army, please. Good afternoon. Whenever you are ready, when you're ready.
Perfect. Good afternoon. My name is Philip Holland, and joining me today is LaVon Lewis, Madeline Arizosa, and Valerie Mitchell. The Salvation Army is one of the oldest and longest continual providers of social services in Southern Nevada, serving the Las Vegas community since 1948. Our funding request will support increased utilization of our vocational program, which has operated more than 25 years and is available to help men and women, regardless of race, religion, creed, or sexual orientation, transition from homelessness to self-sufficiency. Our four-step program begins by working with clients that have come to us from the harsh life of the streets and welcoming them to the Salvation Army. There is no waiting list. Clients are identified through our homeless services, outreach, and community collaboration. We also just completed a project with the City of Las Vegas where we posted billboards, signs on RTC buses and bus stops, and also posted information on City of Las Vegas trash cans, all about our services. The October 2016 campaign resulted in a 62% increase in telephone inquiries and 146% increase in night shelter services. Step 2 provides clients with intensive case management through life-transforming programs, including job training and supportive services necessary to restore and regain health, self-confidence, and hope. Our interaction with clients is not just another transaction, but the beginning of their transformation. We are proud of our collaboration to provide financial literacy training and GED classes, and our partnership with the Workforce Development System, which includes agencies such as Nevada Job Connect and College of Southern Nevada. We also provide job fairs and workshops. At our last job fair, 254 clients attended and 42 were offered employment. Step 3 concentrates on independent transition. This new structured interaction emphasizes support and accountability. We integrated our lead Bridge Unit Apartments into our program, allowing up to 59 clients that secure employment the opportunity to continue their self-sufficiency plan by living in their own apartment for up to 1 year while saving for their transition to permanent housing. Step 4 is sufficiency, self-sufficiency, and success. Clients have employment now, which provides for affordable housing and basic needs, and are fully productive members of society. Graduates have saved enough money to purchase a vehicle and also apply a down payment to purchase a new home. Long-term benefits to the City of Las Vegas include our ability to utilize this program investment of $200,000 to serve 100 clients and see clients exiting making approximately $48,000 a year, providing a return on your $2,000 per client investment of 122%. They are no longer also utilizing public assistance. Our program has demonstrated that it has a substantial positive impact among the homeless population. Ongoing staff training occurs on topics such as crisis intervention and gender equality. Client feedback is obtained through client meetings, surveys, and exit interviews. Team. Together, everyone achieves more. Our partnerships with local businesses such as Zappos, employers as MGM, and government agencies such as City of Las Vegas enable us to assure that you can expect change, and the Salvation Army fulfills our promise of doing the most good.
That was a photo finish right there. Does any member have any questions for Salvation Army? What? See?
Take it all in.
Go result.
Member Jansen?
I will ask, it's not a new program.
Not a new program.
So can you address what HUD is looking for the percentage of increase, a significant increase from last year's funding, and how are you tracking either by dollars and or by what you're doing per client? Can you discuss how you're tracking?
Well, we, of course, enter all our information into HMIS so that we use the HMIS system to track what's happening with our clients. We also have a Salvation Army program called Bridges, which also tracks all of our social service programs throughout the Salvation Army. So we are able to tell you what's happening with every client at any time.
So can you explain then how, with that information?
Yes.
And I just keep trying to drive back to what we've been asked to do. And I'm really kind of pushing you all a little bit more, so I apologize for that. It's just that I know your program as well, and so you do live this. I think you can answer it. So with all that information, and if HUD is asking us to require that you're going to show that percentage of increase, a significant increase, how are you going to do that with that information that I know you already collect?
I can tell you that our vocational, we have a second floor vocational floor, which can house probably about maybe 60 to 75 men and women on that particular floor. But with the expansion of the lead bridge units, we have an opportunity to now provide housing to an additional 59 more individuals, men and women. Actually, and we're working on providing 10 more rooms. That will take it to 69. So that's almost literally going to be able to double the amount of population that we're able to serve through our programs and through our community partnerships and working with the with all of the businesses that are around. So it's about doubling.
And to add a little bit about that, we also provide information on a national database, which is OSOS, is based in Nevada with performance measures that is reporting to the Department of State. So we track how those participants come into the program, how they're moving into the training they need or eliminating the barriers to employment. Then employment, I'm tracking a follow-up of 12 months after secure employment. So that database, performance measures, is reported to the Department of State.
And that's a year.
Yes, that's a Department of Employment. Nevada.
Thank you very much.
Member Ravello.
Director Ravello, and piggybacking on that. The focus is that this is a new or expanded program, but then, assuming you get the funding, are you going to be able to sustain that without additional funding from this program in the future? How do you keep that going from here?
We've been really working with a lot of our community businesses and partners out there to help us cover some of the costs associated with programs. And so we've been doing this program for 25 years, and we're able to get a number of, different grants from the City of Las Vegas, City of North Las Vegas, Clark County. We're working with all the municipalities. But it's our business partners. I mean, we've been able to partner with Zappos, with different entities to be able to come in and help us defer some of the food costs. United Airlines, we've been able to work with Home Depot has just recently come on board and provide some additional housing for us, services along those lines. So it's really been out there getting those partnerships with business entities, and they bring out their employees for volunteer service hours. So at the end of the day, it's, we're all in this together. And I think that's exactly what we're working for, the Salvation Army.
Great, thank you.
Any more further questions for Salvation Army members? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, next I'd like to call St. Jude's Ranch for Children. Remember to please identify yourself when you're speaking for the record.
Good afternoon. My name is Maisha Wilson, and I'm the Executive Director of St. Jude's Ranch for Children. And I always love calling this bill because his energy is so it's so exciting. So with me today, I have the Program Manager of Crossings, Vision Crossings in East Charles, and I also have my Program Manager, Jed Blake, who is the Program Manager over Grant Administration, our gift shop, and our in-kind donation center. Just a little bit of history on St. Jude's Ranch for Children. We have been in the community for 50 years, and initially we are known for children in foster care and abused and neglected children. About 4 years ago, we saw a need for young people that are 18 to 25 years old that do experience homelessness, and they have been in the foster care system also because of the lack of a safety net. So we started our program Crossings, which is a 15-unit apartment-style facility for people that are 18 to 25 years old. Then we found that, wow, this population also has a family of their own, and so we could only house them individually in the Crossings program. So we started the offshoot New Crossings, which is for young people 18 to 25 and their families. That program, we're in about our third year. We have partnerships with apartment complexes around Clark County, where we pay their rent for 1 year. We give them rental assistance, and we also give them intensive case management as well. And so Denise Charles, this is her baby, so I'm going to let her brand a little bit more about it and talk about what we've done in the last year.
Good afternoon, everyone. New Crossings is originally supposed to serve 19 households, which is 50 individuals. Over the last year, we have served 108 individuals. That equals out to 86 adults and 96 children. Currently, we have 77 individuals in the program, which is 31 adults and 46 children. New Crossings is set up to where the individuals that come to the program, whether it's female, male, or it's a two-person household with pregnant children, they get case management on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis. Home visits are done Monday through Friday, as well as occasional pop-ups on the weekend. The clients receive transportation passes, education, employment services, and then assistance with food, clothing, and diapers. So New Crossings is a unique program because the individuals can stay in that housing for 1 year, but when we pull out and come in, they are allowed to stay in that apartment for 2 to continue on paying the rent. We hope to answer any questions that you guys have.
Thank you. Does any members have any questions for St. Jude's Ranch for Children? Member Jimenez.
Hi, we understand that there was a workshop that you guys could go to. I didn't see that you guys attended.
Yes, and I apologize for not attending the city workshop. I take full responsibility for that. I did have it on the ESG day, not the CDBG day. And my supervisor made it very clear that it's unacceptable and that we're not cooperating with the city's kind of philosophy of putting everyone together, getting the mission, and making sure the process goes smooth. We do apologize.
What are acronyms? ESG, CDBG.
And there's 3 in a row. So.
Member Ravella.
Member Ravella, you talked about that you provide that rental assistance, you pay rent for the first year. What is the success rate of clients after that first year of either staying in that housing or having other housing and staying in that housing? Because it's been my experience that a lot of times when you give somebody something for a while, they don't prepare for the future. They accept what they've got, and then when it's gone, they're just standing there. So
that is a good question. APR for physical
fiscal year 15-16 shows that 77.2% is living in stable housing. We track all of our data in HMIS, and I forgot to mention, when clients in the program obtain employment, they're required to pay 30% of their earnings towards rent. And then as they start paying that rent to the program, which we save, they can get that money back at the end of the program, turn on the success factor account. So once they start earning a significant amount of money, I can help them budget as far as this is what utility bill is, this is what your rent will be. Let's figure out what you're going to do for transportation. Are you going to buy a bus pass? Are you going to have a car? So we try to make that plan early in the program. And if we're able to obtain employment in month one, it's great for most of our clients without having identifying documents. They don't until month 7 or 8. So we're looking at possibly extending the program for 2 years to make sure that clients don't be interacted with the whole program.
Any further questions for St. Jude's Financial Children? Member Washington.
Member Washington, can you talk to me a little bit about your, what the demographics are for this client that you serve?
So currently right now, I would say that we have, race or age.
All of it, like man, woman, age.
So we see right now, out of the 7 we have right now, we have 3 single dads that have their children in their custody, and then everyone else is female. We have some clients that identify as other, they don't identify as male, female. And then we also have white, black, Hispanic, Asian, undocumented, Native, Alaskan, Hawaiian, and basically every single race that there is. We accept any individual that does. I'm sorry. Oh, Denise Charles.
Thank you.
I love how you should Oh, every time. Okay.
Yeah.
I do apologize for that. So we accept individuals in without any documents, and we're very successful at helping them obtain a certificate, naturalization paperwork, and start their ID card. And the housing complexes that we work with will allow our clients to move in within 24 hours without having any of those documents.
So follow-up question, Member Washington, so do you have a large amount of undocumented residents?
I would say right now we have 4 at this time, and we have 2 doctors under, and we were able to help one individual currently get a work visa.
Any further questions? Member McGrath.
Just a comment. I've witnessed over the past year a pretty dramatic turnaround with St. Jude's. I visited your campus twice. Jed, Maisha, thank you for the tour. I got to see it up close and personal. Went through the thrift shop. Very engaging on the social media and in terms of fundraisers and dinners, and I commend you for that. It's pretty dramatic for you to see from 0 to where you're at now. So 40,000 foot view, but it looks good. Thank you.
Seeing no further questions from the board, thank you so much for your presentation. We appreciate you. Thank you. Westcare Nevada Incorporated, please. Just remind you, please, you have to restate who you are before you start speaking or responding, and please speak loudly for the record. Thank you very much.
My name is Kelly Swan. I'm the Assistant Director for Student Westcare. Kevin Morse, Regional Vice President of Westcare.
Thank you.
Westcare currently operates the City of Las Vegas Flex Shelter out of our 4th Street location. We offer up to 23 hours of shelter to homeless and imminently homeless chronic public and immigrants, persons in mental health prisons, and those from domestic violence. We provide laundry, access to showers, hygiene kits, clean clothing, on-site community support groups, transportation to Clark County social services, hospitals, local shelters, and case management services. We do sweeps in the community, some coordinated with community partners, and These days, more often, we do sweeps of areas where there are known to be high concentrations of homeless persons. We welcome clients to admit 24 hours per day. The impact of Westcare's implementation of this program and the case management services provided, on the local homeless community is demonstrated by hundreds of clients we have placed in medical detox, residential treatments, Salvation Army treatment program, all our community partners, Safe Havens, Bevo Housing, Veterans Village, Rescue Missions, Genesis Program, Rescue Missions Emergency Shelter, local sober living homes, Restoration, which is a faith-based residential program, charities work programs, and Salvation Army rapid rehousing. We're requesting to increase our case management from 1 full-time employee to 1.25 full-time employees. We wish to be better staffed in order to begin to provide clarity cards, Medicaid enrollment, food stamp assistance, and health and birth certificates for each wet shelter client who needs these services in order to increase client self-sufficiency and facilitate a path out of homelessness.
All right, thank you. Members, does anyone have any questions for Westcare? Member Jordan, Co-Chair Jordan.
Thank you. In regards to, of course, we've always been driven by HUD, emphasizing the needs of measurements, long-term outcome, evidence-based findings, and so forth. And looking at question 10, and dealing with tracking and providing ensured outcomes, how are you proposing to do that? I'm a little confused on your answer.
Well, Westcare has two tracking systems that we utilize currently. One is an internal electronic health record, the other is HMES. Client data is entered into both, and then we can pull HMIS reports, which we've done, compare them to our data, make sure that everything's lined up and that the reports are accurate. And our internal electronic health record is actually amazing. It's a certified electronic health record, and I can pull anything in any way, but I can track exactly who goes where, and I do send monthly reports on exactly how many folks have been shared, detox, residential treatment, sober living, shelters, hospitals.
When you say certified by?
Whoever certifies electronic health record.
Kevin Morris for Westcare. It's actually a national electronic health record that Westcare actually created. So we have our own IT people. So when we get new contracts or grants, we can actually implement what outcomes that we need to track for those contracts and back into our contract.
That's right. Thank you.
Ravella.
Mr. Ravella, sorry. I just want to clarify, this is funding for the wet shelter, and this is the only wet shelter we have in Las Vegas, is that correct?
She's losing voice.
I know.
Kevin Morris, for the record, Kevin Morris, Regional Vice President. It is for our 4th Street location, so there's the wet shelter in this building at 4th Street, and there's also a program called Safe Haven in the building, which is a mental health shelter. So it's a case management for the whole program. What we currently have was a case manager 5 days a week. This is going to expand, so we have case manager 7 days a week. It is the only wet shelter in the valley. We are currently at 20 beds for the wet shelter, but we are looking to expand it. There is some interest also from the managed care organizations about how to pay for this, because the managed care organizations are now putting some of their individuals into sober living. If they show up to sober living intoxicated, they can't stay. So they're willing to pay for some of these beds, possibly to house them overnight and get sober up.
Go ahead, Member Ravella.
Peter Ravella or somebody else. Case management. There's a lot of agencies that come before us and give presentations offer case management. And we make a real effort because we have so little funding to not duplicate efforts. Why is there any effort? Is there any ability or efforts to try to coordinate with some of these other agencies that offer case management so that they can do the case management and you can focus your efforts and funds elsewhere?
Regional Vice President Kevin Morris. Yes, the issue with ours is real bit is that ours is such a quick turnover. It's a 23-hour program. So our individuals are in and out really quick. So if you get somebody to come from another organization in case management, it's a little bit difficult. But it's where we coordinate with the other agencies. So we start the case management on our side, what's going on, and then we pass it on to the next organization who will refer them to. So there's a continuum of that case management service. Because otherwise we just be dumping off.
Okay. There's somebody else. Apparently I'm really involved in this one, I don't know why. Obviously, chronic alcoholism, chronic any kind of dependency like this is very hard to deal with. What is the average, is there an average recidivism rate, an average time? Have you seen a trend of how many times people come back to your facility, get the case management, get referred someplace else before you stop seeing them, they've actually moved into sobriety and started moving forward?
Regional Vice President Kevin Morris. We've only been open for about a year doing this project, so it's hard for me to probably give you that kind of data. We do have a lot of, in this particular program, a lot of recidivism, and we kind of understood that going into it, because this is a low barrier shelter to get people off the street through our public works. The case management wasn't even part of the web shelter. It was really just having to manually clean it. And so we added the case management to these type of funding sources, because it's not what West Care does. We don't want a revolving door. We want to get them to the next level. So this case management piece, and these case managers are also certified alcohol drug counselors, so they can start talking to them about, maybe it's the community triage center that we need to see next, so that we can go into a more intense level of service, and maybe it's outpatient or residential or something like that. But as of right now, yes, we do see a high number of people come back, but because I don't think it's been operational for a year yet, I would have to be pressed to for the citizens right at this point.
Member Jansen.
It's just a comment more than anything. I feel like I just need to say, because that lift is so huge with what you all do, and then being the only one to take your wet shelter. I appreciate the fact that you've even implemented this for a year to have that discussion, because for years, not just this source of funding, but others from the county, and if those kind of conversations aren't being had, we will continue to be here every year and not being successful. So I just encourage you to keep that fight up, and try to get more and more agencies to help accept those that are the wet shelters as well, because I know that's part of the struggle. But if that case management can be overlaid to it with those that are already doing it, because it's for me, it's the biggest lift I think that the community sees right now for the home. So thank you for your effort.
Assistant Director for Street. I want to say on the case management piece that these are folks who don't trust easily. We have a short window. I mean, it's often within 12 hours that we can, with the on-site West Care, basic West Care case management, and build some trust. I mean, high recidivism folks eventually will engage with us, and we've seen that happen, but only with a familiar face. So we did do that with our but it's not a quick handoff. They're really slow to build trust.
Member Washington.
I wanted to expand a little, Member Washington, I wanted you to expand a little bit on that. How long does it normally take? I mean, 8 to 10 hours, but how many times do they need to come back to see that familiar face in order to move them into the next stage of that?
Kelly Swan, Assistant Director for Posting. It's interesting because I'm curious around that numbers, and so I run the reports each month, and then I go back on stuff. If I know their face, they can report. And it seems like somewhere between 6 and 8 contacts with us is when the real chronic ones.
I think that's our time up for questions. Thank you. I know you're about to elaborate. You have great information. Thank you so much. At this time, I am going to call a 10-minute recess and break, and then we will reconvene to complete our presentations for today. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, wait.
Are you ready?
She has to.
You ready?
Get the machine rolling.
All right.
It should be.
Okay, we are reconvening the Community Development Recommending Board. As we stay on our agenda, we will be going to agenda item number 6. Before that, I will restate. Before we begin, I'd like to take the time to alleviate some concerns that agencies have regarding the risk analysis that was completed by city staff. We would like to focus on your presentations today. However, we have been informed by city staff that agencies were given the option to address any concerns during your presentation. Please note that we will hear these concerns should you wish to address any, but will not engage in discussion for the sake of time and allowing us to hear about your program. The risk analysis is simply a tool used by staff for internal purposes and will not negatively impact funding decisions. As a reminder, you will have only 3 minutes for your presentation and 7 minutes to answer out any questions. At this time, we'll be hearing presentations from the following organizations regarding applications for Community Development Block Grant, Public Service, CDBG, PS Youth Programs submitted by Adams Place, Addison Incorporated, Big Brothers Sisters of Southern Nevada, Boys and Girls Clubs of Southern Nevada, Boys Town, Nevada, and Clark County Law Foundations. At this time, I will ask members if there are any abstentions or disclosures that need to be made at this time. Seeing none, I'd like to call forward Adams Place. Thank you. Please remember to state your name whenever you're making a statement, answering a question into the record. And project your voice, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Community Development Review Board staff, for this opportunity to present our program and answer any questions in regard to our Community Development Block Grant application/project. My name is Kelly Thomas Boyers. I represent the board, volunteers, and most importantly, the families that Adams Place has been serving since 2009. Adams Place was created to fill a gap for children faced with profound loss. Adams Place focuses on 3 primary deliverables. 1, age-segmented peer support groups for children ages 5 to 18. 2, the introduction, education, and practice of coping skills for kids, teens, and surviving parents and caregivers. 3, we provide referrals to outside resources and community activities. Adams Place is a 10-month program that meets bi-weekly, providing a safe, supportive environment for children to express their grief. Each group is led by 2 trained volunteer facilitators who present a weekly topic focusing on healthy coping skills. Research has shown that unaddressed childhood grief and trauma can lead to immediate and long-term social, emotional, and behavioral difficulties. That means for our community, these challenges include lower academic performance, truancy, increased dropout rates, and mental health issues, drug use, addiction. Over 5% of children will lose a parent before they turn 18. That means in Las Vegas alone, over 25,000 children will experience profound loss. Adams Place is a new and innovative program utilizing promising practices and evidence-based practices in our delivery of peer support. Adams Place currently serves 80 children annually. The CDBG funding will be used to create the internal infrastructure to bridge the gap between the 80 and the 20,000 children in possible need in Clark County. The demographic makeup of families in Adams Place is reflective of our rich ethnic diversity: 27% Latino, 18% African American, 8% Asian. Economically, 79% of our families are either extremely low, very low or low to moderate income households. We have identified that lower socioeconomic families may find transportation to our facility a barrier. We have begun collaborations with communities in schools and core academies to train their existing staff, identify tools for teachers in their facilities, and to bring our 8-session program to their site. In addition, we have a great working relationship with Clark County School District, and we are working directly with them to pilot in-school free programs. With the help of the grant, we are projected in our sustainability plan. Together, we can expand our reach, build our capacity, empower more children in our community with the coping skills to make healthy choices, increase school presenteeism and completion.
Okay, ma'am, that was 3 minutes, I think, right there.
Sorry.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Board members, anyone have any questions for Adams Place? Member Washington.
Member Washington. So I actually have a lot of questions, but I don't have a lot of time. But I think the program itself is really admirable because children need to learn coping, adults need to learn coping skills. And so the best way for you to learn them, would be as a child. And trying to connect the dots of how your application works for what the city of Las Vegas is trying to do. So I guess my first question would be, are you working with any of the Times 6 schools or Zoom schools? Are the children, the students, are they coming from that area, the demographics and everything? But I wanted to connect the dots so that it makes sense.
Kelly Thomas Lawyers, volunteer and board president of Adams Place. We work with children we have not tracked individual schools at this time, other than the indicator that 80% of our families fit in that very low income bracket. So we need to backtrack out the individual schools, and we're relying on, with our partnership with the Clark County School District, to go into for a pilot program for meaningful programs.
And so, follow-up question, Member Washington. The money that you're looking for, you had mentioned that it was to help fund hire 3 different positions, I think. I think executive director, finance director, and child life specialist. You didn't do all that on how much you asking for? 60,000.
Yes. Kelly Thomas Lawyers, volunteer executive board president of Adams Place. In the handouts that we've supplied to you, we've given an industry standard for the salaries for those positions, and then we've projected what we can hire folks who are willing to compromise on that, given their passion and advocacy for the program. So, to my right is Kelly Knight, volunteer training coordinator. Erica Kuiper, volunteer recreational therapist, and Lindsay Kutcher, volunteer community partnerships.
Member Rose and Member McCoy. You're going to defer to Member McCoy first? Okay, go ahead.
I wanted to commend you for the program, and I was very impressed that you guys are so passionate about it, that you volunteer your time and shows commitment to the program. My question was to find out if this extended when you talk about grief, because grief comes in a lot of forms, and we do a lot with homelessness, so are you guys counseling them just on the death of a parent, or the loss of a parent that's incarcerated, or elaborate on your grief counseling that you do?
Thank you for the question. My name is Kelly Thomas Lawyers, and board president and volunteer at Adams Place. That's a great point to bring up. We are going to launch in-school pilot program called Good Grief Projects, which we will expand that definition to include incarceration, deployment, separation, loss in a more general term, in a different definition. Then children who want to come to us grief specific due to the death of a parent will come to our facility. That's the best way we can delineate that. And programs in northern Nevada, that's been a very successful way for them to get more critical mass in those groups while they're in the school. And the tools that we use, we just augment a bit for the wider topic.
Director Rivera, by the way, you just need to give your name, you don't need your title. Piggybacking a little bit on what Member Washington was talking about, the city has given us very clear guidelines on where we need to focus these funds. And for youth, the focuses are the meaning helping children enter kindergarten ready to learn, children read at grade level by 3rd grade, students are on track to graduate high school, or to reduce, I'm going to shorten it up, the school to prison pipeline. Those are the 4 criteria that we need to look at under youth. How does your program meet one of those or more of those criteria?
Kelly Knight, volunteer. So we teach, as we mentioned, the coping skills, which can be most likely linked to social and emotional learning. And that has been documented in a report in February 2015 that the benefits of social and emotional learning reduce juvenile crime and provide higher lifetime earnings and better mental and physical health. So we think that they can translate for the children entering kindergarten, ready to learn. We think it can translate for children being able to read at grade level by 3rd grade and keeping students on track for higher to graduate high school. It has also been very documented that those truancy issues for children who've experienced profound loss. So for them to be able to cope increases the likelihood of staying in school.
Division Ravella, then how are you going to, again, now we're looking at performance-based, because that's what HUD is requiring of us. What are you doing to be able to present those facts that show that your program is successfully doing that? Whether it's referencing other programs that are successful, how are you going to do that to show to the city so that we can keep this going through?
So Kelly Knight, we do have a questionnaire that all of the families have begun to answer prior to our 8-week course, and then after our 8-week course to start documenting whether their children are staying in school, they're participating at a higher level. I mean, I can answer on a personal note because I lost my husband and I had 2 small children, and I know that after they went into the program, they were 100% more readily available to mind-wise to be able to stay in school. I know that's only one family, but
Thank you very much.
There's that 30 seconds.
Okay, so as far as Kelly Boyer, as far as tracking, we would love to partner with an organization. As you can see, our budget is slim, and we need to staff up. And in software and tracking is certainly on our priority list, and so we're open to ways to track that. Open. So right now, we do evaluations at the end of every 8 weeks. At the end of the year, our program year follows to track the school year. We are the only school year-based program out here. And I can tell you we have a wait list. The school teachers, school principals, social workers, what we need is overwhelming.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anderson Incorporated?
Hanson.
Edson?
Good afternoon, members. My name is Anthony McTaggart. I'm co-founder of Anson. This year, our proposal to you all is for Anson Academics, which is a program that gives no-cost tutoring initiative to students in our valley that need it most. This program specifically is asking for $50,000 to fund 3 schools, Sunrise Acres Elementary, J.T. McWilliams, and Jonas Park Elementary. 35 students will be served at each school, 35 unique individual students. They will each receive 1 to 2 hours of services each day, 4 days a week. Our program really bases on that funding initiative of reading by grade 3 and how much impact it can really have on graduation. And so with that, the unique pieces of this program that would make it like nothing else before would not only be the fact that we are doing a small group intervention for English language arts to ensure this piece. Additionally, we are also going to be providing a homework and tutoring component for these students as well. So we do align very well with that funding initiative. We have run programs that are similar to this in the past without focusing primarily on grades 1st and 3rd, as so aligned to the funding initiative. We do have results for City of Las Vegas schools that show 150% improvement in English language arts and 200% improvement in mathematics. These were last year's results. The way that we know that we are evidence-based and we align to that initiative by the city, the recommendation by the city, is the Ames Web testing by Pearson. Benchmark 1 is represented first, and then benchmark 3, the final benchmark, is represented second. And then additionally, we know that having a teacher in a non-threatening environment still at school to essentially extend the school day to give those students that additional time is a measure to improve and increase their ability to perform successfully in the classroom. So this is all we have in terms of presentation for you. We'd really like to hear your questions and address any concerns you might have.
Okay, thank you very much. Any members have any questions? Member McCoy.
I have a question for you because I think that I saw somewhere in your application, I couldn't just find it just right now because you said that you guys were targeting the lowest performing schools in Las Vegas, and I have to do a lot on the education system, and those schools are not amongst the very bottom of the school, the lowest performing schools. And so for me, I was looking for diversity in your program, and I saw it to be a little, okay, I'm not gonna lie, pretty one-dimensional, because we spoke a lot about the English language learners, but there are a lot of other minority kids that cannot read, and English language might not necessarily be the barrier, but they cannot read, and I want to know, how are you going to diversify your program to expand it out to reach those other kids?
Sure, 2 points on that. Anthony McTaggart speaking. So first off, English language arts, just as the subject of English. English language learners, although maybe in the application, certainly is a population that we do address, but English language arts is really what this proposal would be addressing in terms of program. And then second, in terms of lowest performing schools, we focus on 2 different dimensions there. Lowest performing schools, absolutely, but lowest performing students within the schools that we are also addressing. So we have been at schools within city limits, such as Booker, Matt, Kelly, Vegas, Verdes. These are low performing schools in our district. We do have Rhodes Elementary, which is a wonderful school that is in an area of town, so that just by socioeconomic status may not be the lowest performing school, but certainly we are addressing the lowest performing students within every school that we go to.
Does anybody else have a question? Because I have a follow-up.
Go ahead with the follow-up, and I'll go after you.
My question is that I'm just really trying to ascertain how you guys are going about making improvement. And so when you're saying that you've been to Booker and Matt Kelly, you didn't note that on the application, but my concern is that we just don't find ourselves in a box and see one population of kids, and there are a lot of kids that are out there, and you can go through several schools. And so when I ask you what the demographic, the demographics of the school that you're predominantly seeing, I'd like you to answer that question.
Sure. So Anthony McTaggart addressing, although I don't know demographics for each school, today without having them in front of me, I can tell you that when we do go into a school, the principal is addressing the lowest performing students through Ames Web testing from the previous grade. So for example, if we're looking at a second grader coming into a program, we're looking at the benchmark 3 first grade scores to address that student coming into the program in the beginning of the second grade year. So certainly inclusivity is a concern, but we are not leaving anyone out of being available to come to the program. We are addressing the lowest performing students in each grade. Is that not?
Can I?
Please.
Sonia Anderson. The 3 schools that are identified in our request are not the only schools that we serve. And we have, our funding is very diversified. For the 2015-2016 school year, we were in 15 schools. So there are numerous other schools that are being funded or funding is being requested for. And they read by 3rd grade is, the platform that we are focused on. And whichever school that we're going to go to, regardless of the demographics, it's going to be, what the principal or the administration, see the lowest achieving students. So these 3 schools were identified. They are within the city limits, and they're schools that we have been to before, and we want to continue the program there. but it's not our population. We have, for academics, we have 39 locations across the valley that we serve currently. So it's very, very inclusive of demographics, county-wide, valley-wide. So, and these, the particular schools that are named here, we have tremendous success, and the need is great. So that's why we targeted those schools for the CDBG funding. We can provide, and it may be in some of the information that we have there for you for the handout, the other locations. We're also in 11 Clark County libraries, which includes a multitude of the demographics and the population and ethnicity. So it's not, our program does not target or specify any geographical area or demographic.
I just like to use the class of information that
Okay. I think I saw Member Washington, Member Janison, and then Member Jimenez.
Okay, so I think she sort of answered my question, but Member Washington, I just want to know why you picked these three schools for this fundraiser. What is it about these three schools that you feel this funding would be helpful?
Sonia Anderson, and again, like I said, these are schools that we worked at before. The principals and administration really do not want to lose the program. Since we have been funded by CDBG for the Las Vegas schools, we feel not that it's a secure funding, but we thought it would be something that we want to make sure that the schools are included for next year, should a large grant that we have out for a multitude of schools not, satisfy in all of them, at least these three schools will be covered. Are we, not wanting to go to other schools? No.
No, Anthony McTaggart, principal buy-in is absolutely critical for this program, and we have strong working relationships with these principals to ensure we can meet the requirements of data and the reporting obligations that CDBG puts upon us to get that income information on families. Just wanted to make sure that was on record.
Okay. Member Johnson? Okay, I want to defer to Member Jimenez.
So hopefully you'll be able to expand later on, but how would you choose your next schools coming up? Do you look at Greenwood Beach Lunch or Ainsworth data or?
Sure, so Anthony McTaggart, there is certainly the principal wanting at the school, but we also have a matrix, if you will, of criteria. So first and foremost, we need to make sure there's not duplication of efforts in that school. If there are quality programs or quality partnered programs around that school, we actually will defer to those programs, whether we're a part of that partnership or not. And then second of all, we really want to make sure that that school can meet the requirements. Some principals are less willing, or they don't feel comfortable to actually collect the information that is so required by CDBG funds.
Chairman Miller, I have a quick question, and I think it falls in reference to the question that we're held to, question 9 about research, and I guess your practices, you show us data that you've had increases, but I guess my question is, how is that in alignment with the students you're working with and the staff you're working with in terms of the curriculum? So are you using an additional curriculum, or are you using a curriculum that's in alignment with Nevada learning standards?
Sure. Everything.
Well, I guess my question is answered because
Common Core, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Southern Nevada, please.
Hello, I'm Molly Latham, CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southern Nevada. Our application this year is to expand our evidence-based mentoring program to additional schools within the city, including schools which we've not been able to serve in the My Brother's Keeper initiative, or others on our long waiting list. In addition, we'd also like to expand to more of the city recreation centers, since we've had very good success with our pilot program at East Las Vegas Rec Center at the corner of Stewart and Eastern. Those after-school hours both facilitate the recruitment of volunteers as well as parent engagement, which is critical when we want to transition matches from our site-based program into our community-based program, because we know that we measure the greatest impact in the life of a child when we can maintain that relationship for years and years. I'm sorry, Sean.
Members, if you have any questions.
I got a little winded getting up
For
here, so.
Big Brothers Big Sisters of
No.
Southern Nevada,
Yes,
an
ma'am.
mentoring program. Member McCoy.
Member McCoy, I have a couple of questions, but number one, on number 7, when it says describe your program and how it will address the community, and one of the questions that you had on there, 52% are likely to skip school, was that like a typo?
Less likely to skip school?
If they were likely to
I'm
skip school
sorry.
as part of the
Yes,
program.
ma'am. It would be.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that was that.
Yeah, as you will hear often if you go to juvenile court that the gateway offense as juvenile justice system is truant. So we can encourage children to attend school regularly. That's step one.
So I like the idea that you wanted to incorporate the STEM program over the summer, and I was interested in finding out how the participants will be chosen and if funded and where they will be chosen from. Because I think that the center is your home location, and so how would you guys pursue?
We did run our pilot from our office. However, I think this next summer we'll do one